All right. So, hey guys, Coach James here with our very, very special guest, nutritionist and dietitian Deepa Deshmukh. She and I connected in our other group or in my other group, and she always puts great posts and a lot of encouraging information, and a lot of things that make you think. And she's very well versed in the plant-based space. As I said, she has a million letters after her name, so she's qualified. She MPH, Master's of Public Health, RDN. I don't even know what that is. CDE, BC80M, dietitian. I will let her explain. But all you need to know is she's a friend. She's an advocate of the plant-based lifestyle, and she is here hanging out with us this evening and has some awesome things to share. So I'm gonna pass it over and she's going to share her info, and then we'll do a Q&A at the end, and you can ask your questions, and you'll be informed and blessed and encouraged, and you'll have some tools to put in your tool belt to continue on your plant-based lifestyle. All right.
All right.
All right.
Thank you,
So over
James.
to you. You're welcome.
Thank
You're
you so
welcome.
much, and I feel so privileged that you accepted my invitation to be on your show, because what a cool name you have, Plant-Based Success Group. You know,
Sure.
we are here not to try but to succeed. Uh,
Right.
so
Exactly.
so so I was very tickled by the name of your group, and bravo to your group members for being on a journey and making this group a success. And yes, as James said, I am a dietitian. Those letters in short means a lot of money spent and time in school spent. Whether it is worth it or not, I don't know. But what it really helped me understand, how the education that I got in school was not that great, and how I went back to basics and really started educated myself about food and nutrition. But it has definitely helped me get my passion about nutrition and education out. I'm a certified diabetes educator. My board certification was in advanced diabetes management, or is in advanced diabetes management. Um, and my master's is in public health. And at the end of the day, I am nothing but a public health dietitian who is on the mission to use food, use my knowledge, whatever know-how I know, or I'm learning, to spread the love, really, because I think everybody has a calling, and this is it. Food is my calling, and cooking and talking about food is my religion. That's all I believe in, and that's all I preach and practice. So I'm super excited to be here. And just since January, the uh, I don't know if COVID was needed to bring this extra awareness to nutrition, but I'm definitely noticing more and more people doing a little bit of soul searching about plant-based and nutrition, and their immune system and how their body works. And I really want to take this opportunity to connect with your members and talk about a variety of issues related to nutrition. But I chose the topic of bone health, and how bone health and immunity is connected. Because we don't often see a direct conversation about anybody talking about bone health for immunity. Everybody is like, yes, yes, we need to build our immunity. But in order to build our immunity, there are other systems in our body, such as our gut health and our musculoskeletal system, which our bone is part of, need to be where they, or what nutrients we need to feed our bones to build our immunity. So, and the statistics around bone health, basically osteopenia, osteoporosis, alarming. I mean, there are a red light, which is osteoporosis. So 44 million Americans have osteoporosis, which means that there is a significant chance of having fracture or because of the bone loss and fall and so on and so forth. And out of that, 35% of African American women have osteoporosis. Now, those numbers are alarming because these numbers are also coordinating with the risk of obesity or obesity contributing to the osteoporosis, or diabetes contributing to osteoporosis, because we will notice how all those two conditions are affecting the bone health. So in today's presentation, what I want to basically focus on the key nutrients involved in bone health, role of each of the key nutrient, how to optimize the absorption of these nutrients, like, what are some of the factors we should be paying attention to so that whatever nutrients we are taking, supplements we are taking, or food we are eating is getting absorbed properly, and the relationship the relationship between bone health, physical activity, gut health, and immune system. And towards the end of the presentation, James will share a link for a PDF document which has the top food sources for some of the key nutrients. Okay, and then of course I will take your questions and comments during this presentation, or you can always reach out to me on my Facebook page and DM me. I 99.9% of the time I respond back to people. So that's what this presentation is going to be all about. So as I said, osteopenia, 18 million people with osteopenia, which is a minor bone loss or initiation of bone loss. And then we have 44 million Americans with osteoporosis, and 35% of African American women with bone issues. So what is going on here, right? So who are the key players involved in bone health? So we have calcium, which is a known. We have magnesium, we have phosphorus, and we have vitamin D3. Okay, so let's start with calcium. Okay, when anyone talks about bone health, everybody knows that, oh, calcium is important. Okay, in fact, I'm sure you guys are probably heard it just like me. Anytime you tell somebody, hey, you don't do dairy, or you don't eat cheese or fish, the first thing they say, oh my God, what's going on with your bones? Are you falling apart? But no, the good news is people who follow a nutrient dense, this is an underlined word here, unprocessed, nutrient dense, plant-based diet, the bone density is much higher than junk food eater, vegans, or plant-based people and meat eaters. Okay, so first thing first, if you are working on cleaning up your diet, this is the time to do it, because cutting down on junk in your existing plant-based is definitely going to matter your bone loss or your bone density. Okay, so calcium and phosphorus. Okay, I'm going to talk about these two nutrients together because food sources for these two nutrients is pretty similar, and what they do in our body is also pretty similar. So both of these nutrients, calcium and phosphorus, support bone health. Okay, so they are a part of a structure. Okay, they make the bone what bone is. Both of these nutrients affect the acid and alkaline balance. Okay, they affect the pH of the body. Okay, high salt food, okay, contribute the leaching of the uh, calcium out of your body. So as you can see, if your diet is very high in sodium, okay, which traditional ethnic diets are, and or American processed food is, or even if you are plant-based and eating a lot of junk food or processed vegan or plant-based food, then salt content is going to be very high, and that is going to affect the support structure of your bone, because it's going to increase the loss of calcium in the urine. Okay, acidic foods, and I'm not talking about like lemon juice type of acid, but let's say alcohol make our pH more acidic, or soda makes it very acidic. Of course, we don't eat meat, but if you have a family member, one way to educate them or your friend about going more plant-based is saying that, meat-based diets make our um, body more acidic, thus leaching the calcium out of the system. Okay, so and then calcium and phosphorus also affects the muscle and nerve functions. Okay, so the reason why our muscles are able to flex and our nerve system is able to fire up, that is because we have calcium working or floating in our blood. So calcium plays a lot of role in muscle contraction, and which obviously is related to the bone, correct? So how much calcium do we need? 1200 milligrams, 1500 milligrams usually, depending on your the source of the calcium. Okay, calcium, if you're going to take extra calcium, because if there are already some signs of osteopenia, or if you're a new plant-based or new to plant-based diet and you are doing a little bit of a catching up, then it's important to take calcium in divided doses. And most important thing is, in order to improve the absorption of calcium, you need to take it with vitamin C. Okay, so whatever your calcium source may be, either a supplement or food, such as dark green leafy vegetables. That's the PDF that I'm going to share with you later on. Will outline what are some of the rich sources of calcium. But usually beans, lentils, dark green hearty vegetables like turnip greens, collard greens, cauliflower greens, radish tops or radish greens, beet greens. They are super high in calcium. So taking calcium along with vitamin C is going to improve the calcium, the absorption of calcium. Do not take it with vitamin D3 or iron. Okay, because iron and vitamin D3 and calcium, these are three minerals. Okay, they compete against each other. So you don't want to take your vitamin D3 supplement with your calcium. Okay, so be aware of that you want to keep your vitamin D3. Usually I take my vitamin D3 in the morning or at night with some chia and avocado or nuts. We will talk about the vitamin D3 and what we should be, at what time we should be taking. But as far as calcium is concerned, like I said, you need to take it in divided doses and take it with vitamin C, and do not take it with iron and vitamin D3. Okay. All right. So the next nutrient we have is magnesium. Okay, magnesium is so underrated. It's like a foster child. I don't know why we don't talk about magnesium as much as we talk about calcium, because without magnesium, calcium is nothing. Okay, because they are codependent. Okay, you need magnesium. Magnesium has 100 enzymatic reactions which help us normalize our blood glucose levels. It helps with, it enables the energy production. It creates and maintains bone integrity. Okay, so it keeps the bone together. Okay, calcium makes the bone, but then magnesium maintains that integrity. Okay, so you can understand it's a cement, it's a glue. It keeps it all nice and sturdy and strong. And it affects the magnesium, helps with energy production, right? So think about it. If you are low in magnesium and you are fatigued, what's the first thing people are going to do? Oh, they are going to stop exercising. Okay. Later on, we are going to see how physical activity affects the bone health and immunity. It's a very interesting connection. So if you are deficient in magnesium, you are going to most likely to be fatigued, probably in pain, because your bones are aching now. They don't have the integrity. They don't have the strength. So any activity you may do, or just, just lethargy, those things are ultimately going to affect your bone health. Lack of magnesium going to affect your blood sugar numbers. If you have diabetes, or you have a family member who have diabetes and has magnesium deficiency, or if somebody is pre-diabetic, because like I said, magnesium controls the blood sugar release and maintenance. Okay, high blood sugar is an acidic condition, like I was saying, is an inflammatory condition. Okay, diabetes is causes inflammation. Diabetes reduces our pH, which means it makes our body acidic. Diabetes affects our blood sugars, I mean our nutritional status. It affects our immune system, correct? So when all these things are happening, what is going to happen? Our bones are going to suffer, correct? Because we just don't have the magnesium for the strength. And then that is what is going to lead to osteopenia or osteoporosis. Okay, same thing with obesity. Obesity is an inflammatory condition. Obesity causes more pressure, more weight we have on our bone. But if our bones are not strong because of the calcium magnesium deficiency, then there's going to be pain, there's going to be muscle cramps, all kinds of things that are going to happen that usually can be prevented with adequate amount of magnesium and calcium. Okay, so next vitamin on the list is vitamin D3. What can I say? Oh goodness, vitamin D3 is the most common deficiency that exists, and like everything else related to nutrition, gets overlooked. Okay, but vitamin D3 can affect 200 genes. It can influence functions of 200 genes. Okay, imagine if one gene gets affected or is manipulated slightly different, we are in big trouble. Okay, and vitamin D3 is that crucial. It has that many functions. So the lack of it obviously is going to cause some nervous functions, or it's going to affect numerous processes in your system. But it definitely affects your bone, because vitamin D3 also contributes to the structure. Okay, it contributes to blood glucose control. If you have diabetes or pre-diabetes or even normal circumstances, I have seen it over and over in my professional career. that just by correcting vitamin D3 deficiency, diabetes numbers have improved, in some cases reversed, more fatigue, more energy, hence less fatigue, improved sense of well-being. People just feel better when they take vitamin D3. The depression incidence is low, or the intensity of depression and anxiety is low. As we know, we are heading into fall, and lot of uncertainty is going to like a roadblock is ahead of us for next, I don't know, 6 months to a year and a half to two, until we go back to what we were in just 6 months ago, right? So that anxiety can be relieved if we take vitamin D3. The pain, like I was saying, pain and fatigue, and that the bone pain, sometimes people just feel that they just have this internal pain, and many times that is because of vitamin D3. Okay, so it's easy to correct. You want to take vitamin D3 supplement through a vegan source. Nowadays, it's easily available. Lycene, LICHEN, is the vegan source for vitamin D3, and usually we get it through sun. But I live in Chicagoland area. There is hardly any sun. You guys are in Florida. You have better luck with sunlight. However, people in India, where there's nothing but sun all the time, are massively deficient because of the ultraviolet rays, color of the skin, and we are just not exposing ourselves enough to the early morning sunlight, because the rule is we need to be in the sun 20 minutes when the sun is at the sun during the sunrise, not when the UV rays are very strong. So because of all those things, D3 mainly comes from the supplement. And mushroom is also a good source of vitamin D3. Eating 1 cup of mushroom will contribute to it, but it will not help you correct the deficiencies. Another thing you want to remember about vitamin D3 is the range for the normal value is 30, or I think it's 29 to 130. Okay. And to have optimal health, bone health, mental health, physical health, because of vitamin D3, we need to be around 70 and 90. Okay, so check your D3 levels if you're going to see the doctor soon, and see where you are at. And if you are on a lower end, then look for a vegan D3 supplement. As far as taking the supplement, it's important that you take vitamin D3 with some fat source, okay, because vitamin D3 needs fat for absorption. Like calcium and magnesium, you have to take it in smaller doses. Okay, many times when deficiency is found, doctor starts the prescription for vitamin D3, which is 50,000 units once a week for 6 weeks. Folks, it does not work. You have to take 2,000 to 5,000 units of good quality vitamin D3 every single day with some nuts, avocado. I take mine with some chia flax, either first thing in the morning or late at night. And again, I avoid taking it with my calcium and magnesium source. So that's about vitamin D3. So let's repeat some of what key nutrients we need for bone health. Calcium and phosphorus, calcium and phosphorus, magnesium, and vitamin D3. Okay, four of these guys. Now, what else contributes to good bone health? And now let's start exploring the connection between physical activity and immunity. I mean, physical activity, bone health, and immunity. Okay, so how are these three things related? First of all, physical activity, when you do any kind of physical activity, walking, sit-ups, sun salutations, just using the stretch bands, these type of bands, right, where there is little bit of resistance, I would say. Okay, even if I just sit here and do this stretching, it's going to affect positively my spinal cord. Okay, because I can feel the resistance when I'm doing it. So any physical activity, I'm saying, and if you can do it with weights, that's even better, or if you do the resistance, that's even better. It's going to activate your immune system. Okay, when the immune system is activated, it reduces inflammation. Okay, now why bones, we do many times people forget that bone marrow is a engine of immunity producing blood cells, because bone marrow, which is inside of our bone, the material, the filling of the bone, if you will, is produces red blood cells, platelets, and white blood cells. Okay, these guys, these cells, platelets, red white blood cells and platelets are the fundamental components of our immune system response. Okay, without these guys, immune system doesn't exist. So exercise helps. Exercise and food obviously will help improve the quality of red blood cells, platelets, and white blood cells. Okay, that's how physical activity going to affect bone health and thus the immunity, right? Physical activity, by activating the immune response, it also helps reduce inflammation. Okay, because we know inflammation leads to weakened immunity. Okay, so physical activity basically activates the immune system, which reduces the inflammation. Physical activity, strength or resistant exercises are even better. And like I said, anything, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, weight bearing exercise where you are just walking, or using your bone to as a weight bearing exercise would be perfect. Water, doing exercise in water or in pool. But like I said, even these bands are extremely effective when it comes to bone health. Okay, now last but not the least, importance of gut health in bone health and immunity. Okay, so we can take all the supplements we can find in the market to improve our immunity and improve our bone health. But if your gut health is not where it needs to be, if your microbiome is not strong, then the uptake, which means the absorption of calcium, is going to get affected. Okay, so eating food is one thing, taking supplements is one thing, but paying attention to your gut microbiota or gut microbiome is extremely important. As you guys may know that there's probiotic and there's prebiotic. Probiotic are these good bad bacteria in our digestive tract, and prebiotic are these healthy fiber or food for the probiotic. Okay, so prebiotic fiber, which happens to be in plants. That's the beauty of being on plant-based, is no matter which route you take, no matter which plant you eat, or protein source you choose, like, for example, beans or lentils or peas, vegetables, plant-based foods are high in protein, high in fiber. Okay, and certain foods, specifically like sunchoke artichokes or onion and garlic and lentils, are a rich source of prebiotic. And when we feed our microbiome or our probiotic with these specific foods, they get the prebiotic fiber that helps improve the absorption of calcium and reduce the bone loss. Okay, the bone loss, the technical or medical term for it is called osteoclasts. Okay, which means breaking of the bone, basically. So by maintaining good gut health, we are ensuring uh, reduced bone loss. Okay, so physical activity, gut health, making sure that you have the key nutrients that we talked about, like calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, vitamin D3, and most important, another important nutrient is, of course, water, which we need for absorption and detoxification, are going to be the pillars of bone health. And ultimately, your bone health is going to affect your immune system through the mechanism that I just explained. And the PDF that James would share with you now, it will outline some of the high sources, or good sources of calcium and magnesium and vitamin D3. I said is through sun and mushrooms and supplements. But even if you take calcium, like I said, dark green vegetables and tofu, and magnesium, again, green vegetables, lentils, pumpkin seeds. These are our everyday foods. We don't have to uh, we don't have to find anything from the superfood section. Every food that is out there in nature is superfood. Okay, and is easily available. Either you can grow it or you can buy it in the regular grocery store. So just make sure your diet consists of all these super uh, powerful, nutrient dense foods, and that will ensure your bone health and immunity health. And that's that's all I have to say today about the topic. And if anybody has a question, please feel free to let James know, and I will answer.
Awesome. Oh man, this is a very rich talk and presentation. Thank you so much, Deepa, superstar Deepa. Now last thing about how every plant-based food is super, because there's a huge marketing push for superfood like goji berries and all these different things that are very expensive and hard to get, and they're, but you're so right. Every single plant-based food makes our bodies feel super. So in essence, they're all superfoods.
I'll just give you
So
an
that was a
example. For calcium, every week I do a podcast, and I try to go into the grocery store and find a seasonal fruit and vegetable that is easily available. So this is a fig season right now. You can buy fresh figs, and half a cup of figs equal to half a cup of milk in terms of nutrients.
wow.
Who knew?
Yeah,
You're
I
right.
didn't.
So figs and milk, half a cup equal. There is a millet called ragi millet, okay, and it's an African and Indian millet, and we make like little pancakes with it. That has 300 times more calcium than milk.
Wow,
So
300
easy.
times.
300 times more, you know. And the poor people in India eat that. And they are
Right.
so strong. I've never seen uh, fracture or anything in that population. They have other issues, but not what we see in developed countries.
Sure.
So prunes or dry plums are so beneficial for bone health. I cannot even tell you. So instead of a candy or anything else, not so wise choice, if we just start eating couple of figs or couple of dry plums, that will go to our bone health savings.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. It's all about going back to the basics. So Plant Posse, what questions do you have? You have an opportunity to ask questions now. I'm sure something throughout the time of the presentation has kind of given you a light bulb moment, or maybe you had a question and need some more clarification, or maybe you have a question about something, some type of nutrient or mineral or vitamin or something like that that you've thought about, or maybe as you've transitioned, you've maybe gone to the doctor and said, "Hey, I'm low in vitamin D or I'm low in B12, and I want to get maybe some examples of sources of those things, whatever you have on your mind." Uh, Nutritionist Deepa would love to field a few questions. And also, just feel free to show your love and appreciation also for this awesome presentation. She actually can't see the thread, so I'm going to be feeding her the info that's coming your way. Thank you. Your enlightenment is greatly appreciated. I understand it and will practice it. Okay, I must give figs another try. Awesome.
In
Okay.
fact, tell her I'm going to do a cooking demo on my Facebook page. I'm going to show 3 ways to use figs. I just got 3 dozen figs yesterday as we speak. So I'm going to make a fig chutney. I'm going to make a fig sauce and probably fig smoothie or something. I don't know what I'm going to make the third thing, but I'm going to come up with some fig-based recipes because I didn't realize how underappreciated fig is. So I'm glad she's going to the viewer or the audience is going to give another try to figs.
Yeah, absolutely. And you all, I've seen some of Deepa's food demos and presentations, and they're really, really good. So I've just put the link to, let's see here. Just want to make sure that it did post. Yeah, so in the comments, I put the link to the guide that Deepa has. So you can click on that, put in your info, and she'll get you that guide. And then in addition, I will also put her contact info in her actually while you guys are while she's answering this next question, I will put her social media stuff too. So you can follow her. She has a lot of great stuff, and you should definitely follow her page, and kind of get into her world as well because she has a lot to share. Okay, so Lady K Johnson, if you're eating healthy, is it necessary to take supplements?
Yes, because for 2 reasons. First of all, our soil is deficient in nutrients. You know, so our produce is not as nutrient dense as we would like it to be. Okay, and the consistency matter. Life happens, and people. I notice, and even though I do this for a living, I've noticed that it's some days I just don't get to my vegetable intake. And so taking extra is more of a insurance policy type of intervention,
Makes sense.
especially for
Like
postmenopausal women, because post during menopause we are going to lose that extra shield of estrogen that helps prevent bone loss. Once that is gone, it's the bone loss happens very rapidly. So the supplement becomes even more important.
Awesome. So I just clicked on your page and you have a lot of cool snacks and things too. Oh wow. All right. So I'm gonna put all of your information because I didn't even know how much you have going on. This is awesome.
No, but the
You all
snacks are not ready yet because of the COVID. Everything got
okay,
little got there was a held
sure.
up because of
Delayed.
everything delayed. So, but my Facebook page I think is very educational.
Yes. Awesome. So I have another
Hmm.
question, Sarah. Hey, what's up, Sarah? She's saying if you already have moderate bone loss, can you repair your bone loss with food?
Yes. So this is what I feel. Reversing takes long time, but if we get our eating habits under control and through right supplementation, at least we can prevent further loss. At least you can minimize or halt that loss. And once we stop the loss, then it's process of reversing or rebuilding.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Lisa says, did I miss anything about turmeric supplements?
Okay. So what can I say? Turmeric supplements don't work because what as much as they as much as researchers want us to get the benefits of turmeric, what they have noticed is it's like anything when we isolate something, right? Like pea protein is an isolates. Curcumin, when it is isolated from the turmeric on its own, is not as effective as eating the turmeric as a whole. That's why pea protein is not as good as eating peas, because many
Sure.
times it's a whole food that is more powerful than singling it out. It's a teamwork.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Anytime you isolate something from the whole source,
Yes,
there's going to be some type of compromise there.
absolutely.
Um,
Because that's where they need to process, and then we get in trouble with processing.
right. All right. Excellent. Thank you for that. So Sharon says, is there anything to help increase TSH levels?
So those are the thyroid levels. What helps with thyroid health is really focusing on gut health, because the T4 to T3 conversion happens in our digestive system. So hopefully that will fix the TSH levels. And secondly, the other, what can I say, the excess hormones that are being produced, which are countering the thyroid hormones, need to get out of your system. And that happens with whole food plant-based diet, which is high in fiber, because fiber removes the bad excessive hormones from the system, and eventually it will help with the TSH level, which is your thyroid level. And of
All
course,
right.
iodine and eating diet rich in iodine will also help ensure the thyroid health.
All right. Thank you for that. Danita says you talked about prebiotics. Can you please explain a little about probiotics?
Okay, so probiotics are these live microbes or these bacteria that we have in our system. We have 10 times more of this microbe than blood cells. So we are full of probiotics basically. Our skin has a different kind, our mouth has another kind, eyes, every part of our body has a different set of microbiome. So those probiotics are these live organisms, okay, and we are born with certain kind, and then our environment dictates what kind, how that microbiome set is going to develop. And excessive use of, I'm sorry to say this, but Purell, the amount of Purell people are using right now is eventually going to affect our broader immunity. Okay, so what that means is the Purell, along with killing bad guys, is also killing our protective good microbiome. Okay, so probiotic are these good bacteria that we want in our system, but many times because of the environment, because of stress, eating habits, water quality, nutrient deficiencies, inflammation, obesity, diabetes, because of all these reasons, the bad bacteria start to grow. Okay, so acid reflux is one of the symptom of the imbalanced probiotic in your system. So basically, probiotic are these live microbe or live organisms in your body, and prebiotic is their food, which comes from plants.
Awesome. Awesome explanation. I didn't actually know that they're, your eyes and your gut and your mouth, they all have different
Different strains.
types of, yeah, different strains. Wow, I never knew that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Our body is absolutely incredibly
It's very
designed, and
fascinating.
yeah, absolutely. Another question that came in, my stomach seems full and bloated. What can I use for stomach health? It's kind of a broad question.
I would say digestive enzymes will solve that problem. Okay, because if you're on plant-based diet, you are eating a lot of fiber, and if you have not grown up eating plant-based, then it's going to take your system some time to release or to develop adequate and right kind of digestions. So taking a digestive enzyme supplement, I recommend Now brand NOW, and they, I believe, have all Digestive Ultimate. And you can DM me and I will send you the information as well. But those digestive enzymes seems to work better for gas and bloating.
Perfect. Thank you. This is amazing information. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Kenny said uh, he was gonna experiment with figs. They're on sale at Sprouts. So if you have a Sprouts around, they may be
Ram,
on sale where you are. My favorite grocery
Trader
stores.
Joe's
Thank
also
you.
has it.
Oh yeah, Trader Joe's is the ultimate. Trader Joe's is Sprout. So
What
for
would we
me
do?
personally, I know, I know. Oh, Trader Joe's, Sprout for sure. Whole Foods too, but they're just kind of expensive. But
I know
for sure.
very much.
All right. So I don't actually have any other questions come in, but I have a question of my own, and probably a lot of people are thinking about this.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
a lot of people, when they come to a plant-based diet, when they're transitioning to veganism, one of the main things I hear is B12. B12, B12. Where are you gonna get your B12 from? You got to get your B12. What would you suggest as far as getting adequate B12? And are there any natural sources of B12? Obviously.
So
Or what is or
basically, B12 is
what is your angle on? Mhm.
okay. So yes, B12 deficiency is common, especially if you are new to plant-based diet. Because remember, our diet also dictates the microbiome that we have, the probiotic organisms we have in our system. Okay, meat eaters have a different kind of microbiome because the B12 is produced by your digestive um, track the layer of microbiome or the probiotic bacteria that we have. There are certain kind in your digestive system actually end up producing B12. So over a period of time, your body gets efficient in making B12. But in the beginning, I think supplement is needed. And specifically, if you have low energy or taste issues, then I would headaches or spasms, then I would definitely recommend taking a B12 supplement.
Okay, good information. I didn't. I should have known just
Vitamin.
because our body is incredible. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It's a water soluble supplement. So I don't think taking injection really helps. I see a lot of patients, getting B12 injections. I don't think that's a good idea. I think we should get it on a daily basis every day. Sorry, James. There is a bit of a lag. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, it is a lag. So sorry about that. So all good. No, what I was saying was it is interesting that the body over time assimilates more B12, and you don't need as much because it's kind of where it is. I know me personally when I became plant based about 9 years ago, I remember one of my coworkers. Um, she I think went vegetarian for a little while, and then she got sick, and then she went back to eating meat, and she said like it was the B12. So she was like, hey, make sure. So I was like, okay, I hadn't really heard about it. I'm like, oh, B12, okay. And I listened to her, but I didn't really like really pursue like, okay, let me make sure I have the B12. And I never did any supplements or anything like that. And then I never, like, to this day, I've never even taken any supplements, and I just don't feel like I am deficient in it. So I'm just living life without it, I guess. but it's interesting that over time your body produces its own. So
Correct.
maybe it's 9 years
Yeah.
ago. So maybe I've kind of
And like you said, the quality of food matters.
yeah.
If your intake of beans and lentils and greens and what can I say, this few powerful food groups which are nutrient dense plant-based foods, I always tell people, ask yourself when you are making a choice, are you eating or are you nourishing? Because there is a difference between eating and nourishing.
Hmm. That's good.
you know
That's so good.
90% of the problems don't exist. But if we just eat, that's mindlessness.
Amen. I love that. I love that. Just a few last questions here. We appreciate your time and we want to honor your time. There's a couple questions around dosages and good brands
Okay.
of supplements. I know you said the Wild brand.
Now,
Um,
for certain things, Now brand is good.
for certain things.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I just found out just a few weeks ago, and I'm in touch with this particular company, that they have a personalized nutrition supplement that they can create, which means that I was able to add my diet and my lifestyle. And if you have your levels like iron levels, vitamin D3 levels, plug in there, they come up with a personalized supplement for you. And then you start taking that, and then you continue to add your data. So in 2 months, based on what you added, they adjust your supplement. So you are not unnecessarily. So let's say somebody starts with really low B12. So they get the B12 added to their supplement. But then if you start eating B12 rich foods, and you go and draw your blood, and if your levels are less, and if you plug in those numbers, then your next batch of supplement is not going to have as much. So I will be, in fact, you know what, DM me in few weeks. I will talk to you about that particular company. I'm still investigating them.
Sure. Absolutely. All right. Sounds good. A lot of people are saying they like the concept of eating versus nourishing. I like it too. That's excellent. That's really, really excellent. Um, I want to be nourishing. I'm not eating
Because I can't eat
because
meat.
I can't having issues with preparing food, so I'm eating salads and juicing, afraid to eat and challenge myself. All
Yeah,
right.
I mean, start slowly. You are part of this plant-based success group. I'm sure James offers a lot of help uh, with taking small steps and just keep going on this journey. Don't be afraid. I always tell people, how can you be afraid of a vegetable and you were never afraid of eating? You know how people choose fish, live fish, and have done steak and like when you are eating a live animal sometime, right? How
Right.
can you be more afraid of eating a plant than meat, which at
Right.
some point was live and attacking you?
Right. Absolutely. So true. Everything's about perspective, right?
It's about
Even this
perspective.
whole plant-based journey is about
Perspective.
perspective, and
And starting
it's just one
slowly.
of those things, right? Starting slowly, getting momentum, and once you get momentum on your side, I mean, me personally, I mean, granted, I've been doing it for a while now, but I I couldn't imagine what else I'd be eating, if that makes sense. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
So previously to this, I was like, I couldn't imagine not eating chicken. I couldn't imagine not eating hamburgers. And I couldn't,
Yeah.
it was foreign to me. And now I couldn't imagine eating meat. I like now it's so foreign to me. Like I see it and I'm like, wow, I couldn't sink my teeth into that anymore. It's not appealing, and I know how I feel on a plant-based diet, and I feel alive, right? And at the end of the day, when you distill it all down, if you want to feel alive, if you want to feel vibrant, if you want to thrive, eat things that are alive, eat things that are rich and that are kissed by the sun and fueled by the nutrients in the dirt and that are alive and living. And if you want to feel dead, then eat things that are dead, processed, and put in boxes. Like that's basically what it comes down to. If you want to feel alive, eat things that are alive and not dead. If you want to feel dead, eat things that are dead. The choice is yours,
I know.
right?
And plant-based is so beautiful. I mean,
Yeah,
looking at the colors of vegetables and fruits and just plants, and different season things change. I mean, people say, oh, they variety. I said, what variety are you talking about? You ate cereal and burger and pizza most of the time. What variety are you talking about? It wasn't they were gourmet chefs and
right,
whipping
right.
fancy dinners.
Yeah. People eat the
So
same stuff. They go to the restaurant, order the same thing. They rotate the same 3 or 4 meals. It's human nature. We always do. We do that, and then feel like we're eating new food every day. And it's like when you really take an honest inventory about the things you've eaten, it's only a few different dishes. You're just switching them around. So
that's true. That's
awesome.
true.
Excellent, excellent. So so guys, thank you for hanging out with us. Deepa,
No.
superstar Deepa, thank you for gracing us with your presence and giving us all this good
No.
information. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to the replay again just to kind of absorb it all again. And there's some people that came on late that said, "Can are we gonna be able to see it?" So
Yeah,
yes, you will. You'll be in this group. And Deepa, we've already talked about it. I'll give you a copy as well so that you can use. So yes,
absolutely.
I thank you for collaborating and being an ally and you know just pouring your knowledge into our group. For those of you that are still on, if you just want to say your last thoughts to superstar Deepa, and I will pass them along to her, and then we will give you all back your evening. Just so for those of you on now, you guys know that. So I think our next item is the coaching. So we have the coaching coming up here. That will be a Zoom coaching call with me, and that's on the calendar. So make sure you check the calendar for that. The link again, it's in the comments. I'll also do a separate post for the link for the Deepa, what was it was a nutrition guide
Nutrition. Yeah,
or
it's a PDF of calcium and
okay.
magnesium rich foods that you can easily
Okay.
find in the
Awesome.
grocery store.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. So I'll put the link for that.
Yeah.
It's also in the comments, but I'll put it separately so you can get that, as well as make sure that you follow her. She has really cool cooking demos on her page and a whole bunch of good stuff. And awesome. So many thanks. Thank you. Awesome. So thank you for the love. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Let's see. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. Very helpful. Great presentation. What's your Facebook? I'll put it in here. I'll put it in
Yeah,
here
it's
so you can
just
check it out. But
nutrition is
it's her.
Deepa. Nutrition is Deepa.
Okay. Nutrition.
Facebook.
Nutrition with Deepa. Awesome.
Nutritionist.
Oh, sorry. Nutritionist Deepa.
Correct.
Nutritionist Deepa. You can put that in the search bar and you will find it. Awesome. Sounds good. So I think we're good to go. Once again, thank you so much, Deepa. Is there any last comments that you want to share, or?
No, I mean, we have this phenomenal opportunity uh, to take care of our health and spread the message. Stay in groups like what James has to offer, and let's support each other and keep this momentum going. And I want to thank each and every one of you for taking time to listen to this presentation. And I'm excited, and I'm hoping to connect with James again, and we will have more fun together. Until then, just stay well, stay nourished. What can I say? Stay nourished.
Awesome. Awesome. Stay nourished. Stay nourished. All right, cool. Well, we're gonna jump off. Thank you guys, and we'll see you all soon.